right?
Speed.
We have a good bowling alley too.
Oh, the bowling alley's fun. I love
Yeah.
Theater, didn't
Social.
that community college partner with the
So
theater on
they did. I'd love to say it's super successful. Basically, they sold it for $1 to the community school district last month.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, just last month.
According
Just
to
last
Buchanan,
They
month.
used to email me because they had a playwriting competition
Uh-huh.
they used to do.
Yep.
So I used to get emails from them when that came around.
Yes. Yeah. No. When I worked at the hospital, it was across the street, and we used to do a lot of continuing education for our staff there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's too bad.
All right. Tell us about your program and how you've redesigned it.
All right. So we have marketing and management. I'm supposed to rephrase the question, right? So our program, we redesigned a couple of years ago, really to meet the needs of our industry in the marketing and the management field. So we have a pretty specific subset of classes that we tailor in marketing to the digital marketing, advertising type area, and also sales. And then in the management program, we have human resource management, we also have supply chain management, and then we also have a management and leadership certificate that's specialized for those folks that might be working in industry in a job-specific role, but are looking to get that management background so they can move up in their organization as well. So that kind of encompasses different things such as accounting classes, the management, the leadership classes, a little bit of business law in there as well. So it really kind of gives them a well-rounded background in those business aspects to enter into those entry-level management positions.
So what were some little tweaks that you did when you became chair of the program, working with your faculty to ensure that students were moving through those programs and that classes were full?
So one of the things that we looked at was specifically what time of the day are we offering our classes? What classes tend to be full? And then another thing I was also looking at was from the standpoint of, is a class full? Let's talk about completion. Just because you start with 25 doesn't mean you end with 25 students. And so looking at some of those completion rates of courses, it really helped us understand trying to tailor our classes that they can be done back to back in either a Tuesday, Thursday, or a Monday, Wednesday format. That was really what our students were wanting, and our enrollment trends have shown that. We also actually tailored our management program that it can be done 100% online. And so that allows for students to be able to be wherever they are here. We've had students from outside of Iowa. We've had students inside Iowa in different metropolitan areas within 3 or 4 hours of Des Moines. And so it's allowed them to still be in their home community, but get an education from DMAC.
Can you tell us about your stackable credentials that you created?
Yeah, so we have let me start that over. We have stackable credentials, and our stackable credentials are designed that a student can come into the program and say they start out with a goal that I want to get a certificate in HR management, or I want to get a certificate in digital marketing. They can take those courses, and all of those courses would apply into different diploma programs as well as into our AAS program. So even that student who may not have the confidence in themselves to complete that 2-year degree right away, they can start out with classes that really are no harm to them and allow them to tailor those classes into those programs where they can eventually finish out with a 2-year degree. Likewise, we have students who start off in those 2-year programs and decide, you know, I really do like marketing, but maybe I want to do recruiting in HR. And so that has a marketing subset and it has a management subset. So they can get a degree in marketing, but then they could come do the HR certificate with several classes that already they're taking as a part of their marketing degree, and just have to take maybe an extra 3 or 4 classes to finish out that certificate to really specialize into what they want to go into.
What has the student reaction been to these changes?
So one thing that we've seen is we've had more students completing programs. We see more students that are actually looking at those opportunities and saying, you know, I think I'm really interested in this area, or I'm really interested in this area. So when it comes time for them to do their internship, they, instead of just looking for a general management or a general marketing internship, they actually know kind of what it is they might want to do. And so, like for example, I had a student who just completed their internship in management that didn't really know that supply chain was going to be an area of interest for them. And we are starting a supply chain certificate now. We've got 2 classes, one launches in the fall, one launches in the spring. And that student went in, worked as a booker for a trucking company where he's responsible for basically taking the goods and booking the trucks that get them to the distributors. And he found that he fell in love with it. And so he's actually considering coming back and getting that SCM certificate, which only would require 2 more classes for him than what he's already taken. But sometimes it's getting out there into the field, figuring out what that niche is. Likewise, I had another student who did an internship in a very similar type business in transportation and logistics, absolutely hated it, said, I know I want to do recruiting. I don't want to do this.
What was it like to collaborate with other faculty and making sure that these stackable credentials or courses, specific courses, worked together to meet everybody's educational goals for
Well,
students?
one of the things I've really appreciated, so our department actually, it's been about 5 years now, we moved over to the business building, to Building 8. And that really, I think, opened our door to say, hey, we are a part of the business division. Now it's time for us to work together and collaborate. We've been very lucky in the fact that many of the faculty in those areas have welcomed us and also welcomed the opportunity to teach classes for us. So that's helped that we barely have any adjuncts that work for us. You know, from each semester, it's usually maybe 1 or 2 adjuncts. Otherwise, we staff all of our classes with full-time faculty. Full-time faculty are involved in the decision making when it comes to competencies, comes to class redesign. We just redesigned our human relations and management class, and it was a cross-functional team of different faculty from all of the campuses that teach that class that offered input to what they felt should be a part of that class, as well as looking at industry benchmarks and getting feedback from our advisory team. And we really realized that a textbook change was needed. And so we brought in a couple of different textbooks, reviewed those, and the committee actually chose the textbook. The committee also helped rewrite the competencies. We broke it up into small, easy to handle groups, and it was a good opportunity for us to collaborate with one another from other campuses.
Awesome. Great. 7 minutes. Nailed it. Anything else you want to?
I don't think so.
That's great. Wow. Really good. Perfect.
All right. Well, that was painless.